Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Holy Prophet ﷺ and his Sahaba fought in a battle during the month of Ramadan, and they had to break their fast with only some dates. How is this possible, and how can one attain such a high level of faith?
You answered your own question. This is possible only with faith. Because the fasting, don't think the fasting of the prophets and the Sahabe Kiram, they're like our fasting. They don't fast just from the animal self. Like the khutbah is saying, you don't eat, you don't drink. These days they are debating smoking, open haram. Okay, you're not supposed to smoke anything. You're sleeping, huh? And relations, physical relations. So, if you don't do all of that, it is still fasting, but it's fasting of the ego, from the animal self only. But fasting of the ego, the real ego, is something else. When you're starting to overpower the will of your ego says, I want to eat, I want to do this, and you say no. Then that time, of course, there are so many other levels. I don't want to go deep into it, the levels of the fasting. So, the fasting of those ones that is not just from the animal self, with the fasting, he's not going to get weaker. He's going to get stronger. Because now, he's putting down his animal self, and he's releasing and freeing his spirit. Does the spirit need to eat or drink? No. The spirit gets its power from what? From the remembrance of Allah. Do the angels, they need to eat or drink? No. Do they get weaker? No. Where do they get the power from? The remembrance of Allah. Then that time when you're fasting, the real fasting of a believer, you're going to move away from the animal fasting. You're going to be fasting of a different, higher station. And your spirit now will get more and more strength. We all know this. We all feel it, even if it's a little bit. Let me ask you, even those ones who are not preparing and fasting, Rajab and Shaban, Ramadan, they're just fasting. Okay, one day, everyone knocked down, isn't it? Believable. Second day, third day, after that you start to pick up, correct? After a few days, you even forgot that you are hungry, meaning you forgot to look at the time. Oh, now it's for me to eat like an animal. The day is marked by eating and drinking. Animals, they move according to that schedule. Believers move according to the schedule of prayer. Now is Zuhur time. Now is Asr. Not now is dinner time. Now is breakfast time. Then, after that, what kicks in? You can say the body adjusts, the body this and that. No. Of course the body is going to adjust, but where is the power coming from now? Now you start to kick in. Now you start to submit a little bit more. And now the power of the Spirit is starting to feed you. Now you're discovering, maybe first day you're going to dive into the food. Again, it is not good to do that. We are not fasting to feast. We are not denying ourselves food during the day so that night time we can become like an animal and feed our animal self. No, that is not good too. Then after a time, you notice that you're starting to eat less and less too. You start to become more alive. You start to become more awake. All diseases coming because of this opening here. What you put inside and what comes into your stomach now. Diseases coming from that. That Holy Prophet ﷺ is saying, normal time is good to keep 1/3 of your stomach full, isn't it? And 1/3 empty. And 1/3 what? With water? But the idea, the meaning there is not to eat until you're full. And once you start to stay away from the food and the drink, to step on your animal self, to put your ego in the valley of hunger. It was only the valley of hunger that our ego says, Ya Rabbi, yes, 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 you are my Lord and I'm your creature. When Allah asked him that question, who am I and who are you? Only in the valley of hunger, the ego submitted. And now, if you put yourself, our ego, through that valley of hunger, then that's the time when our spirit will become more powerful. Yes, our Shah Effendi has fasted that way, breaking only with one date. Not just breaking with one date, breaking with one date. And in the early days of Islam, he was breaking, the Sahabe Kiram and Holy Prophet ﷺ, they were breaking their fast with one date, drinking a little bit of water, and they make intention to fast right then for the next day. They did not put themselves the luxury of eating and drinking whole night until Fajr time. They ate and they say, we are now making intention to fast. After that, they started fasting again. There's so many things that we need to talk about fasting. But the idea of fasting is, now you step on your animal self, you step on your ego, your spirit becomes more free. It gives you more energy. Then you'll be able, then that time, with the power of the Spirit, to start doing things that you thought is not possible. Yeah, it's possible for us to fast. We don't look at it as it's anything special, no? But how many times we hear from our friends who are not Muslims, and they're saying like, it's impossible to fast. I can't do it. It's like, are you doing it? Not even water, not even a little bit? They're saying, oh my God, I can't do it. It's impossible. They can never do it. For them, it's impossible. For us, it's... For Prophet ﷺ, the Sahabe Kiram, Awliya Allah, to fast that way is possible. For us, it is impossible. At least for us, inshallah, yes. Make that intention. Make that intention. And we'll be rewarded according to that intention. Now, I'm not saying that now you're going to try to do that. Maybe that's too heavy for you to do that. You're going to... But making intention, it is not too heavy. It is very light. The Sahabe Kiram, they were able to do that because they have a guide in front of them. Their Shaykh. Their Shaykh is who? Holy Prophet ﷺ. You can only attain to such a level if you have a Shaykh too, if you have a guide. And he will tell you then that time whether it's possible for you to do, when it's possible for you to do. Yes, they were fighting wars during the month of Ramadan. And Holy Prophet ﷺ made it possible for his Sahabis to do that because they submitted to him. They submitted to him completely and fully. And they sacrificed everything for him. They were not complaining. They were not running away when things were tough. And their faith was so strong, believing in that Prophet, that Holy Prophet ﷺ, then made it possible because of their belief to show open miracles to them. That one bowl of milk that he was drinking for their dinner, to break their fast, whatever, he was able to share with hundreds of his Sahabis. This is an open hadith. He's drinking. He invited 10 people. They passed the milk. It's still not finished. He says, now you go bring another 10 in. Continuously until everyone had their fill. How is that possible? It is still possible? Yes. Those ones who are the inheritors of the prophets, are they still possible for them to do such a thing? Yes. If only they have all those who are around them who are like the Sahabe Kiram, who believe and who love and who submit. Otherwise, no. They're not going to open the miracles to make unusual things to happen to people who cannot be separate from the dunya. If you're busy with the dunya, impossible for these things to be seen, for you to understand, for you to experience them. Inshallah Rahman, may Allah raise our station high, for us to have more submission to our Shaykh. This is important, because in the days that are going to come, they will be very hard days for us. They will be very unusual days for us. America is going to be tested with hunger. If you are not fasting, not just fasting from food and drink, now fasting of the ego, then that time when the test comes, we will see the quality. Like it is now, the time has come. Shaykh Effendi is past. Physically he's not, is testing the quality of those who are following him. Those who are truly following him, they will continue. Those who are just being fake, they say, oh, we can't do this anymore. They're going to go their separate ways. Feel free to do that. In those days, now, if we are preparing for those days now, that time, not only we're going to be tested with hunger, and we're not asking Allah to test us, but whatever little that we have in our hands, we're not going to keep it for us to eat or for just for our family. We're going to share. We're going to give. If you cannot share and be generous when you have a little bit, definitely you won't be able to be generous when you have a lot. Generosity is not according to how much you have. Generosity is how much you want to give. Even if you have one glass of water, but you want to give, you're going to give. But if you don't want to give, that time you're not going to give. You can make much excuse as you want to say, oh, when I'm rich, I'm going to give. No, it's already showing. So inshallah Rahman, this Ramadan that is entering, may Allah make it easy for us. May Allah make it easy for us to step on our ego and for us to clean ourselves in this month. The power is reaching. This is a month of power. And with our Shaykh over us, we will be successful, inshallah. ومن الله التوفيق الفاتحة. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.